Something that's not so fun, though, because we do get serious once in a while on Kruse. We have a blast. We get serious. We get down to the nitty-gritty once in a while. And one thing that's going down, we started talking about last week, but this Linkin Park thing is developing more and more and more. And I feel really bad for Chester's son. So can we talk about Linkin Park fast? So as we were starting to talk about last week, Linkin Park is back. That's right, Linkin Park is back. Now, Chester passed away 7 years ago. He committed suicide. Very unfortunate. It was really bad. We talked about it, a long time. It was last week about this too, about the reformation of the band. Well, Jamie Bennington, who was Chester's son, has recently gotten a lot of death threats online. And why? Because he's been speaking out against the band. Now, the son of Chester, this is Chester's son, his biological son, came forward and he said, but first of all, he's upset about how the band was formed and having Emily Armstrong come in and hiring her because of her connection to Danny Masterson. So she was really good friends with Danny Masterson and big into Scientology, and he thought it was wrongful for this to happen, to replace her with his dad, and talking about how the whole band is just destroying his father's legacy. He said overall, he goes, I'll read you what actually said. They said, I'll find out exactly what he said, because I want to make sure I have this quote. They didn't come to me with this announcement. They didn't ask me how I felt. They didn't even offer me a ticket, he said, when it came down to it. And he said they erased my father's life and legacy in real time by introducing Linkin Park's new lineup. Okay. I get that. When he said this online, the fans were coming after him. Death threats. And he said, you're coming over to my posts and my live streams and telling me to kill myself, that I'm awful, that my father doesn't appreciate me. What are you talking about? You didn't give a fuck when he died. If you did, you would understand what the problem is. You would understand why this is all wrong. I do, because I'm his kid. Now, again, I said last week, I don't think it was a great idea for Linkin Park to come back together. It's not the same. We had this whole debut where they just had sing along with the crowd. I hate singing along with the crowd, guys. I get it. It's nice once in a while. But if you're performing at music, Mike, I'm at a concert, I want you to sing that song. I came here to hear you sing it, to hear that rendition. I might sing along. I mean, I know a lot of bands like Dashboard Confessional thrive on that shit. That's great. But the man died 7 years ago, and you put breadcrumbs to start this band up again, and it's just not Linkin Park. And I get it. You guys want to work. Form a new band. That's regardless of that shit. You guys make your money, but if this is happening to his son, this is fucked up. The band needs to address it. We need to discuss this and stop this and nip this in the ass right away, so that this kid doesn't have to fear for his safety. And he says he is fearing for his safety. And he said if something does happen, it's on them, which is horrible. And then again, there's toxic fan base out there all the time. That's what it is. That's the world we live in. Internet, there's keyboard warriors, as we call them. It's going to happen. There are big fans of Linkin Park. There are. I just think that what you're doing here, you're bringing in the Scientology thing, you're saying what you hate about it, have your criticism. They should just talk to the family that they were going to do this. But again, do they have the rights still? We don't know about that. Does Jamie have any kind of rights to this whole Linkin Park band? Probably not. Not enough that they can actually stop this from happening. That doesn't matter if you ask me. Bands are going to come back together. Maybe they should have done a solo career for a long time before reforming. I think stop the hate. Leave this kid alone. He's lost enough. Chester had 11 kids or some shit, guys. He had so many kids. If you go online, I think it's 6. He had a lot of kids. And to commit suicide when you have that many kids, there's got to be something psychological happening. And then I don't know how it affects that family, having a big family like that, but I would say this at the end of the day, that sucks bad enough. To get spoken to by the fan base too like this has to really hurt this kid. And please leave him alone. Just leave him alone. He can have his grievances. He knows his father. You don't, guys. Fans were actually saying, your father would be mad at you for what you're saying. That's messed up. I just think it's messed up.
I agree with you, Brian. I don't think it's right. I mean, this is, the decision to have, the gal, what's her name? My gosh,
Emily coming in. Yeah, Armstrong.
Having Emily Armstrong come, and her connection, I can understand there's some, issues with that, because you always, usually before you bring people in, this is kind of what PR people are known to do, is make sure people's backgrounds kind of, they're not going to kind of obtain this kind of backlash and stuff. This is what, we do in PR. Yeah, you've got to vet them, right? Making sure that they're going to be a good fit. You're probably going to keep it keep the issues and, this down to a minimum, because you don't want to have brand reputation management stuff. So someone's obviously going to come in and try to help, clean this up. But yeah, it's obviously gotten a little out of hand. So nobody should be getting death threats, though. And I think that's definitely over the top. So yeah, definitely never telling you to kill yourself. Are you kidding me? People just, these trolls need to stop saying things like that to people, because mental health is a real thing. People need to acknowledge that, right? Like, we know that, and it's a big deal to say things like that. So, and I know we all talk about, we say things about maybe like Harvey Weinstein and stuff like that, but like, I feel like for people in life that are pedophiles and rapists, I don't have much forgiveness for you. Like, sorry, don't. Actually, sorry, not sorry. I just don't. So if you're that kind of a person, I guess, I don't know. That might be my exception.
They're dirtbags is all they are.
But the trolls will do that all the time, Angela. You're right. The trolls just get out there, and that's what happens. And people will attack somebody without even knowing what they're going through. That's just what we live in. It just is. Yeah. And I get it. Like, we're on YouTube. We understand. There's a lot of trolls on YouTube. There's a lot of people that will hate on you and people that will love you. I get it all the time. I understand. People hate on me sometimes. They're talking too fast. People that hate on me because there's fine ways. They'll make fun of my hair. Sometimes was too tall. They made fun of my hair one time. I'm like, why are you making fun of my hair? Because it's not in frame. I'm sorry. I'm like, leave my hair alone. Not to make lighthearted about this, but I'm just saying this is the world we live in.
What did my hair do to you?
Leave it alone. Leave it alone.
They're probably jealous he has.
Maybe GR. They could be jealous of my hair. You never know.
Yeah. You do have good hair, Brian. So
well, thank you. Round of applause for my hair. I'll take that.
Get your finger away from that button. Back it off.
Players are gonna hate.
They're gonna hate.
Young man
I have good hair too. So.
How many kids does he actually have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think he has like 6 kids. And so he's got a lot of kids and he's got a big family. I just feel bad for the children in this situation regardless. So I'm going to lean towards them a little bit, especially what Jamie's saying, like how he's so affected by it already. And you're right. People are going to hate on people and it's just not called for. But Linkin Park coming back, I guess these guys got to work. They got to work, right, Mike? So do you think that's a good enough thing for them to come? That they probably love each other. They've been together for years. They're a very successful band, very successful. Should they have this opportunity, or could they have handled it differently and still move forward to bring the band back together?
I actually appreciate that question, Brian, because I do, on some level, have mixed feelings about this situation. Because if you want to get back together and make music with somebody, whoever it is, like if you're getting together and making art, like even if it's crass commercial, which I have no idea about these guys, but like getting together and making art is great. And I don't really, even if you, hook up with somebody with kind of a shady past, like, I don't know where we come down on that stuff. Certainly it doesn't give these trolls recourse to come hassle this kid.
The troll toll, man. You got to watch out for the troll toll.
Got to pay the troll toll, Jamie. Sorry. Because it's interesting. This story kind of goes back because it was Cedric Bixler Zavala, who's the lead singer of Mars Volta, who kind of blew up Emily Armstrong's spot because she had been defending Danny Masterson. And Danny Masterson famously had sexually assaulted Cedric's wife. And when they went live about that information, they were incredibly harassed by Scientology. They had someone killed their dog, allegedly. I'm saying that to cover my ass. I mean, that's what happened. Their dog got poisoned. Who did that? I mean, I think it's pretty obvious how that happened. Emily Armstrong came out. She said right away, she said, I'm sorry. I was wrong to support Danny Masterson. That was a mistake.
Yeah, she did.
So she did that right away, and I have no way of knowing where she's at. And this is kind of complicated by the fact that if you're in a religion like that, a high control group is what they call these, then it can be hard to, if you want to still like maintain connections with your friends, with your family that are inside an organization like that. Sometimes when you distance, you do like a soft distancing, not a hard, not calling it out, not saying L. Ron Hubbard is the Antichrist, like, because that'll get you completely disconnected. So I kind of sympathize with even somebody who's leaving an organization doing kind of a soft pedal out. And even we're talking about, people with shady histories that are also involved in Scientology. I shouldn't do this. Don't come after me, Scientology, please. I am nobody. Neil Gaiman too. He grew up as a Scientologist. He did the same soft pedal. He never really outright disavowed it. He says, I don't really do that now, but he wanted to maintain his connection. So, I mean, I guess the theme that's carrying this together is harassment. Don't harass
harassment.
This kid. He's upset with your choice. He can be upset with your choice, and particularly using something that's so triggering, after what happened to his dad too. You can't give any credence to that kind of nonsense.
No, and Emily did come forward, you said, Mike. She said she did not understand the seriousness of the allegations. And that's why she was supporting him before. But then she said she said it after the fact. Of course, the same thing happened with Ashton Kutcher and all that. That's a side story of this whole thing. That's what he was upset about, of course. But then the fans attacked because they love Linkin Park and they wanted to hear probably all these hits again and be back on tour. And there's probably a new generation that's also falling in love with them too. Just like we talk about how Fred Durst and Limp Bizkit is doing so great right now. Because Gen Z is on top of that, so
Gen Z is all on top. They're all on top of Linkin Park. They're all on top of Limp Bizkit. Are they putting spoilers on their Dodge Neons and wearing giant cargo shorts and driving down the beach, Brian? Because this is what they used to jam. The kids with the Dodge Neons with spoilers would be jamming down at the parking lot when they congregated in the evenings.
Yeah. Did you used to listen to Limp Bizkit? Did you hear their old school, all their stuff before?
You couldn't avoid it.
I used to. Yeah. I never saw them live.
I avoided it, Mike.
GR, yeah, you might have, but it was all over the place. GR, they were big. They were big. Rolling was huge. Of course, the chocolate flavored water. Hot dog flavored water and all that. It was big.
Okay.
But nowadays, I wouldn't think so.
I think there's two things here. I mean, one, the young man that suffered from his death. I've got a friend that committed suicide, so I know what it's like a little bit.
Very
the
hard.
people that are left behind are the ones that suffered, not the guy that kills them or girl that kills themselves.
Yeah.
But that's one thing he's dealing with. Plus, from the music standpoint, if it was done in a male voice and now you're going to do it with a female voice, I'm sorry. I don't think she's got the voice down here. If that's what, I don't know what his voice was like.
Yeah,
but I don't think she's the same pitch.
I think her screaming is good.
Well, it'll be a higher pitch, but what I'm saying is that the songs are not the same when you've got a different lead singer.
Yeah, that's the thing. And Chester GR was such a big part of that band for the actual sound of it. Of course, not all the instruments, but the actual sound. Main singer, everyone knows his voice. He would piggyback back and forth, but for the most of the songs, it was him. And then when they're doing the live performance, again, they're doing sing-along time. You guys beat Chester. And I'm like, no, let's not do that. Let's find, if you're going to stay together, do like we did for Queen. We found somebody else to be like Freddie Mercury that sounds like him and have that if you're going to do that to keep the band going and honor that person. And Emily, maybe they're really good friends, but I think that, it doesn't sound like Linkin Park. But I think the biggest thing really it comes down to is beyond that, though, GR, is talk to the family. Talk to the family a little bit. He made that comment about how they didn't even offer me a ticket to the concert, and it's he just found about it in the trades like everybody else, and then he's getting ripped apart online. So it's just sad. It's just sad.
Oh, but Brian, it's two different, as you said, it's two different things. I mean, I'm not trying to disparage this young woman. I'm sure she's an incredible talent.
Yeah.
But she is not him. And so the songs are not going to be what they recorded.
Yeah.
There'll be a different version of it.
100%.
So you can't
different band.
You can't retro the songs. You're not re-recording them.
No, you're not. Well, they might. I don't think they will, but they might. They're just gonna do them live probably. Then they have a new album coming out, so the new album will be either the new, step or the next stage of Linkin Park moving forward. So you're gonna have a whole different sound then. But they're still gonna play these at concerts. Of course they are. People want to hear all the hits. In the end, of course, crawling in my skin, all that stuff. They want to hear it. So I don't know. I just feel bad for the kid. I feel bad for the kid.
It's tough when you have like, you know, you look at the themes that run through the lyrics of Linkin Park. There's a lot of like pain and attempts at growth, but it's just sad because, you know, like 80% of people, like, they're not paying attention to the content of what the music is, and that just kind of makes it extra sad that this kid's getting hassled.
Yeah, and as Lexi said, two of the original band members are leaving. Of course, one of them said that he just wants to be in the studio, so he's gonna do studio stuff, but he doesn't want to tour anymore. That's why he's not there. But that could just be like a cop out too, of just kind of a way to just not be involved with this as well. So, you know, it's just a tough thing when you're reforming a band after someone's committed suicide. Look at we talked about Dave Grohl there. He just moved on and made a new band. He made Foo Fighters. You know, he was, and you know, and most of that band's there. Pat Smear's there. You look at the band, it's like Nirvana 2.0, except it's not now. It's something different. And they play once in a while Nirvana songs. For the most part, though, is Foo Fighters. That's what I think they should have gone to. And then she could have been there and people wouldn't have cared. And maybe this poor kid wouldn't get death threats.
Yo, player, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when we are live. And if you are able to join our Patreon, please join. Because the Pepestar needs more snickety snacks. Because I'm hungry. Holla back. Love y'all.